Alrighty, g'day guys, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we have week 1 of APA Academy. We are up against Gray and his Los Angeles Valienteis. Before we get into it, just a couple of things. Yes, there haven't been many videos on the channel recently. That is because I had quite a busy week, so I pre-recorded a whole lot of things. Probably about 4 or 5 videos in one session. Sat down, went to upload them next day, and they were all just shot to bits. When I was watching, because I pre-record my matches and then record by just hitting play on the little video in OBS, and once OBS spat them out, it decided to be the laggiest, jumpiest thing I have ever seen, and just did not ever want to upload that. So that's the story. Today, hopefully I've got that issue all sorted out and we will be back to normal. I will try and get around to recording those videos again at some point, but today we're just APA Academy. And what I've done for Academy is, as you can see, we've got some nice new fancy team builder slides that I decided to put together. Nothing amazing, just it shows my team, shows my opponent's team, and the sets that we're bringing in a little nicer format than Showdown or Poker Paste. So starting off, as you can see, our opponent has quite a scary team with his 2 Ubers being Metagross and Protean Gren, and then you add the likes of Taunty, Garchomp, Mimikyu to break, and then you've got a core of like Blissey, Tangrowth, Gastrodon, Incineroar in there. It's not the nicest team to play against, and especially when you got Blissey throwing Fat Wishes to Mega Metagross, that is quite terrifying. So obviously the first mon that we built for this team was our Groudon, and this thing was one of my win cons this week. We are Margot Berry with Drought, of course, Swords Dance, 3 attacks. We have enough attack in this set to OHKO a lot of the things, and then 2 at KO things like Tangrowth, I believe. I think it was pretty much just OHKO everything at +2. And then 2 at KO Tangrowth, I'm pretty sure. Or it might have been OHKO Spadef Tangrowth, because I thought that was coming versus me. So then enough speed to outspeed everything that we can under webs, or if something's paralyzed, so basically everything under the webs except the Torn, and then if a paralyzed Torn. So yeah, that's what we got. We got enough Spadef here to be able to live a Z Grass Knot from the Taunty, pop our Super Berry, and we're up over half and nice and healthy. We also live a Gren Ice Beam or Hydro in the sun, and then also pop our Berry. So it was a few nice calcs that Spadef left over, worked out quite nicely. Aim of the game is to basically get spoilers, we're bringing webs, is get webs up, click Swords Dance, and then claim some kills with this thing. We do need rocks up as well, so our second mon that we are bringing is going to be Dawnwings. Before I continue, you can see Z-mons on the left are coloured in yellow, so my Z's are Zera, Rabombi, and Stacker, and his are Torn, Mimikyu, and Incineroar. So our second mon is Dawnwings. We're rocking a physical Dawnwings this week with Colbur, Prison Armor, Swords Dance, Moonlight, Earthquake, and Photon Geyser. We have enough defense to live a hit from, I believe it was with the Colbur, it was to live a hit from Greninja. And then the defense was for Mega Metagross, I believe, or no, it might have been Incineroar. Yeah, because Bulk Incineroar could take one. I'm not too sure. But yeah, then we got enough speed to again outspeed everything that we can under webs, and then enough attack to be able to just demolish things. So pretty simple. The Spadef was also there, I think that was probably for Special Gren. Might have been like Dragouge or something. Or no, it's probably Torn. So yeah, that was quite a fat set this week with enough attack to just be able to blow things back. Pretty simple. Next mon we're bringing is Alomomola, also known as the Cancermon, Mega Love Disc, whatever you want to call it. This was the only thing I had on my team that could switch into Mega Metagross. So we got Rocky Helmet, we got Regen with Soak, Toxic, Whirlpool, Wish. If he wasn't sub, this thing beat it 1v1 every time. We Whirlpool, we Soak, we Toxic, we Wish in between all that sort of stuff, and we beat this thing 1v1. If he was sub, then we Cry. But if not, this thing could also check Garchomp, it could check Incineroar. It could check Blissey if it wasn't Heal Bell. Yeah, so it was a pretty standard EV set, but this actually helped us live a lot of things. It helped us, that was the better 4 HP max defense bold, helped us with Metagross the most, but then the Spidef also helped us with like switch into Greninja moves and Torn. So yeah, it was pretty standard set. Just gonna come in, do Aloe things, get some Rocky Helmet chip on things, throw some wishes up to our Fatamons that can sweep, yada yada. Next mon we built was the Rabombi. This is a Focus Sash web setter with Sticky Web, Moonblast, U-Turn, and Stun Spore. Stun Spore was to just basically slow things down, hoping to catch maybe that Taunt with a Stun Spore, because then that would be phenomenal, and that means that Groudon and Dawnwings actually outspeed everything. Sticky Web is, of course, get webs up. His defog options, well, his removal options are Taunt and Hitmonchan, and that's it. And defog on Torn is probably coming because I have webs. Hitmonchan never comes to this matchup. That's actually a throw. But yeah, so once we get rid of that Taunt, and I mean we have Stun Spore for that thing, then we can set webs, they stay up, and our 2 Ubers click buttons. Yeah, so we just got enough speed to speed creep the Greninja, max special attack, and just threw the rest in HP because we don't really live any hits with our abysmal defenses. But yeah, that was Rabombi. Not too much went into it. It was like set webs, have fun. Next one we got is Stack Attacker. This was nice this week because if I couldn't, it was also a way to break Metagross and Tornadus without having webs up, because Trick Room meant that we could underspeed all that. It helps versus the Greninja, the Mimikyu. It was actually really nice if you didn't have Drain Punch, because Mimikyu needs fairy coverage, it needs like ghost coverage for Dawnwings, like wants Swords Dance. So if it doesn't have if it has Drain Punch, then it probably doesn't have Shadow Sneak, which is good because under webs then it can't outspeed things. And if it has Shadow Sneak, it probably doesn't have Drain Punch, which means Stack Attacker can wall it and click Gyro Ball a couple of times, which is really nice. Yeah, so he sort of needed Swords Dance because otherwise my Fat just sits in front of it. But yeah, so Stack Attacker was also nice. The one thing that really switched into this was Gastrodon, and that was a bit of a problem for my team since we aren't bringing Mega Venu this week. But I was kind of just hoping that I could wear that thing down eventually. Yeah, and then get it in range of Groudon or Dawnwings. So last mon we built was a Hydreigon. There's a fat Blissey sitting on that team, and that can kind of dent my plan because it means that Metagross can live longer. It means that the Tornadus can live longer and defog for longer. It can just basically give new life to all of his scary offensive things that don't have recovery. And I needed a way to beat that Blissey, and a Stall Breaker Hydreigon is exactly what we do. We have Taunt, Roost, Dark Pulse, Earth Power. This always beats at 1v1. We have enough HP so that we're not 4-hit KO'd by Seismic Toss, or 3-hit KO'd, or... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's so we're not 3-hit KO'd. I don't think we can... No, it's 4-hit KO'd. 4-hit KO'd, yeah. I know what this team does. And then Dark Pulse, because Dark Pulse spam versus him is very free. Earth Power for that Incineroar. The defense is also there for a superpower from that Incineroar, in case he's like AV. Speed is to speed creep the Mimikyu, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, speed creeping that Mimikyu, because that thing is very scary and we kind of needed to do that. But other than that, yeah, that's what the team is. What I'm expecting is probably, is Uber's, his first 3, Mimikyu has a nice matchup, Blissey has a nice matchup. I can see Tangrowth coming, maybe, Gastrodon, Incineroar. Like, so it's, I see those first 3, and then like 3 out of, like even Garchomp could come. 3 out of like his next 6. So basically anything except those last 3. If I see one of those last 3, I'm very happy. But yeah, so that's enough rambling from me. Let's get into the battle. Okay, guys, getting into the battle here now. I'll just hit whoop, some live editing here. So as you can see, Jack brought he brought kind of what I expected, and by that I mean like he brought those first 3 Mons, and then the Incineroar, Gastrodon, Mimikyu. So I decided to lead here with Tinkerbell. Just mainly getting my webs up against something. We outspeed everything that isn't scarfed on his team, which is really nice. He leads with the Incineroar, gets the Intimidate off, and I just throw off the Sticky Web here, first turn. Figure why not? He goes for a U-turn, probably predicting a switch here. I was Sash, so if he went for the Flare Blitz, then it was no big deal. Like, he takes a lot of recoil, and then I can U-turn out afterwards. He goes into the Tornadus here, and predicting a defog here, I decide to go for the Stun Spore because this is phenomenal. Now, if webs stay up, that means my 2 Ubers outspeed everything, and that's really phenomenal. And he does get the full power, which is quite unfortunate, which allows me to go for the U-turn right here. And, I mean, webs are still up, which forces him to defog here. I decide to go out into my Eiffel, the Stack Attacker, and can we just appreciate how big this thing is on the screen? It takes up half the screen. He goes for the defog, not surprised. He flaps his wings, those webs are away, but he is still paralyzed, and goes for the U-turn here as I take this opportunity to get up my Stealth Rocks. I am pretty sure, as he goes into Fiddle Gastro, his Gastrodon, which is going to be probably his check to this thing. I expect this to be pretty physically bulky because I have a Groudon, I've got a Stack Attacker, both which kind of don't really like Gastrodon being around. So I decided to go out into Fluffy. He didn't bring the Blissey, so Hydra is not as useful here. He does miss a Toxic, which is unfortunate. I go straight for the Taunt here, stopping him doing that Toxic again. Yeah, so he can't use Recover, which is really nice. And then this is just a free Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse spam here is really nice. And he goes for the Ice Beam here, which, I mean, I kind of expected a way to hit Groudon. And he does about 35%, but he gets the freeze, and that's really annoying. That is really annoying, because otherwise I could have recovered up on this turn, and then been able to taunt him again before he gets a recover off, yada yada yada. But thankfully, it doesn't make a difference. We go for the Roost here, just to get up to full. Just like, it cancels out with the Ice Beam, but it's just to make taunt turns nicer. As he goes for another Ice Beam, we get our leftovers back, and is looking very nice, as I think his taunt ends this turn. Not too sure. Yeah, his taunt wears off this turn, so he can just throw out another taunt, I'm pretty sure, as he goes into his Incineroar here. Yeah, so he goes into his Incineroar, takes some rocks damage, he gets the Intimidate off. That doesn't mean anything. We don't have U-turn, we're not physical with like superpower or anything. So yeah, I think this opportunity here was, do I need to really keep this Mon around, or can I go for an Earth Power? As I said, there was no Blissey, so this Mon was not the most useful this matchup. Go for an Earth Power as he goes for a Drain Punch, and we can see that he is AV by that damage. We live that Drain Punch comfortably, thanks to our HP and defense investment. And yeah, this thing is AV. Hydra is going to lose this 1v1. So I'm pretty sure I decided to switch into my Aloe here. Aloe as just gets some nice Rocky Helmet damage here. Yes, he's going to get a whole lot back if he goes for Drain Punch, but he now goes for the knockoff. Takes a bit of damage. He's now down to half. Taunt wears off, which means nothing now that we know he's AV. He goes for the U-turn. As I just take this opportunity to throw up a Wish, knowing that he'd probably U-turn out, I can get a much safer switch into whatever I want. As he goes into the Tornadus, and this thing takes some rocks damage. We go for a Wish here, And yes, this paralyzed Tornadus is now in. Obviously, Aloe can do absolutely nothing to this thing. So I decide to go out into my stack attack. Oh no, sorry, not into my stack attack, into my Dawn Wings, as he just clicks U-turn, which is kind of frustrating here, because like I would have loved to have been able to get off a free Swords Dance against something, but he goes into his Greninja. And I decide now's not the time, considering I'm not set up to try and break this thing and waste my Colbur, so I switch out back into the stack attacker. Stacker's being used as a nice pivot this game, as he goes for a U-turn, which this team is very Volt turn. Well, there's no Volt, but there's a lot of U-turn on 3 of his Mons, and he is just clicking buttons at this point as he goes back into the Gastrodon here, takes a round of rocks, as he also gets his round of leftovers recovery. Now I can't stay in here because a Scald hurts way too much. I switch out and I decide to go into Rabombi. Rabombi can get up webs. Thinking he was going to go for, I'm not sure, maybe a Toxic or something, but he goes for a Scald, and that does a little bit more than I was hoping for it to do. So I can't really click webs, because if he kills me, then all he needs to do is get a defog off. But he goes into Taunt, so I just click U-turn, get a nice little bit of momentum here. As he takes rocks, and then he's going to take a little bit of U-turn chips, so that works out pretty nicely for us, as this is a free Groudon, because I'm still at full. We know the calc, if he's Z Grass Knot or something, we can live that and get our Margot Berry back, and so I just decide to go for the Rock Tomb here, as he pops his Chardy, and that was good bring on his part. It means that this thing can take hits from Groudon a lot better, as he does get fully paralyzed here, and I think he revealed he went for Hurricane after I talked to him after the match, so that would have done a nice chunk. Unfortunate on his end, but I mean, not the biggest deal. So I go for another Rock Tomb here, as he goes into his Gastrodon, and he gets the speed drop, which, I mean, Gastrodon is very, very slow as it is. So this is a free Swords Dance for me here. I get to click SD because, well, the worst thing you can do is Toxic or Ice Beam me. He goes for Scald, fishing for the burn, but that's not going to do a whole lot in the sun. As you can see, that does nothing thanks to Uspidef. And now an Earthquake here should kill. Is a roll that is very heavily in my favour, so I decide to click it because we are Earthquake. No, we're not Earthquake, we're Margot Berry, but we're still a +2 Groudon. And he lives on 1 as he goes for the Toxic. And now this is where I make a bit of a misplay. He's got Toxic and he wants to wear this Groudon down because I am bulky. Sun's just faded, so not that that really means anything. So he has a Tornadus in the back. If I go for a Earthquake, he can switch into that. I mean, it's paralyzed, it's half dead, so he's probably doesn't mind sacking it. He's popped his Chardy. So I should have clicked Rock Tomb there, and that would have claimed me a kill, because it would have killed the Gastrodon. It would have, if he decided to go like Metagross or Greninja for some reason, then that would have got me a kill there the next turn, because they would have been slower. But now he can make the double back into Gastrodon, and I have to click Rock Tomb here. And yeah, so that was an extra an extra turn of unnecessary Toxic damage for us. And as you can see, we were at 109, we're now down to 79. And he decides to go into Metagross, and that actually puts us in range of a Meteor Mash, which is very frustrating. If we were back over half, then he would have had to have given us another Mon. But now we kind of have to go into stack attacker here, because we couldn't really take one with Aloe, because we did take a bit of chip before, and he could potentially, if he got the boost, to it KO us. But he goes for the sub here, and this is terrifying, because sub at a Metagross, like, it claims. So I have to stay in and break this thing's sub. If he goes for a Hone Claws, we pretty much lose. We do a hell of a lot of damage there. As I go for a Trick Room, Trick Room is no downside play, because now we outspeed and we break his sub anyway, as opposed to if we didn't have Trick Room up. So we break this thing sub. It's going to click Medium Ash once again. It won't kill us, but it'll bring us very low. And yeah, so stack attacker down to 14. He does get the attack raise, so if he does have bullet punch, then that would finish us off, but he doesn't. So once again, predicting a ground type move, he goes into Torn and he gets the prediction right. So now I just get to click Gyro Ball here. There's 2 turns of Trick Room left. I decided to take this thing out, which again was probably not the best play, and you'll see why in just a sec. We get the attack boost, which means like something comes in and, well, it dies, but he goes into Mimikyu, which is sad. So yeah, he goes into Mimikyu. I click Gyro Ball here because I have to break this thing's disguise, and this is where the 2 turns of Trick Room being left kind of hurt me, because he now gets a free Swords Dance, and a free Swords Dance is always a bad thing. Because now he gets to click Shadow Claw on my stack attacker, which reveals to me that he probably doesn't have Drain Punch, which meant that Stacker was a good check to this thing. Now there's a +2 Mimikyu left, and the only thing that outspeeds and lives a Shadow Sneak is Fluffy. And I had a Dark Pulse here because he will obviously have Play Rough. And yeah, so this is not good. He's now killed our Stacker, he's now killed our Hydra. Go into Aloe, hoping that we can live one and get off like a Scald Burn, or we don't even have Scald, we have Whirlpool. Yeah, so we go for the Toxic, and he misses. That's unfortunate. But yeah, he pops his Z here. As you can see, he is Ghosty MZ. Yeah, that is Ghosty MZ, so... well... this is not good for us. As you can probably tell by how I'm talking, this Mimikyu does manage to destroy our Aloe at +4 with a Z. So now, what we have left is we have a Groudon, we have a Dawnwings, and we have a Rabombi. I go into Rabombi going, oh, he's got Shadow Claw, Swords Dance, Play Rough. Maybe he doesn't have Shadow Sneak, but nope, out comes the Shadow Sneak. And that finishes off Tinkerbell. So yeah, neither of my last 2 mons are able to live a hit from this thing at all. It's a +4. We got a Toxic Groudon. Gonna go into that, like, hope for the best. You never know, it might be like 0 attack. But he goes for Shadow Claw. That thing just dies. And yeah, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up, as we have Dawnwings here, our last mon. Even with the Shadow Shield, we're not living a +4 super effective move. Like, this kills a lot of Dawnwings, and that's going to be the game. We end up picking up a 4-0 loss there. Yeah, we get a 4-0 loss with Stack Attacker claiming the Tornadus and Groudon claiming the Gastrodon. So, unfortunately not what we were hoping for in terms of starting off our Academy run. We have been having some good luck on Wi-Fi lately. Well, not good luck, we've just been playing a bit better. But unfortunately, my biggest mistake there was letting Stack Attacker get too low. I could have probably sacked off Hydra at that point to Metagross, and then gone into Archeck, which was Aloe. Or even gone into like anything else. But yeah, unfortunate way to start. He just did a good job of like pivoting around, chipping down our things, and yeah, Mimikyu just came in and swept. I needed webs up for Groudon to sweep. He needed chip on things. It was just kind of a race of who got there first, and unfortunately I couldn't find an opportunity to set webs up again. But yeah, so that's going to be our week 1 game. Starting from next week, I'm going to attempt to have live comp for all these games, so hopefully that'll be a bit more exciting for you guys to watch. But yeah, until then, I will see you all next time.